Okay. So he got some playtime today with a new friend. And then there's another little boy that he's going to end up meeting. So it's going to be the two little boys. And the mom is really nice, right? She's really nice. She let the other little boy come over, and Andre played in the yard with him, and Andre went back there, and we're going to give the little boy a little spot to put his own little garden in with his cousin, right? And so anyway, he noticed, because what he does is he throws his stuff over the fence as an excuse to badger me, right? To go around to go get it. So finally I said, okay, you go get it. I'm watching him, right? And so he comes back and he starts badgering me to go play with these kids. And I already said, well, you know, Andre, you've already played with them, the one today. You just met them. You just started playing with them. And he got a good playtime in. He got like 3 hours, maybe, between there and here, between the two places. About 3 hours or so, right? Little boy was over here for about an hour and a bit. Andre was over there for an hour and a bit. And, oh no, he wasn't satisfied with that. Please. And I'm like, now, you stop it, Andre. No, you stop it. I don't want, no. And it's like this all the time, people. You hear me on my videos. He's interjecting, or whatever it is. I have to raise my voice. And you have to remember, when he was in foster care, they had to teach him to read lips, people. Because they couldn't get him to listen. Or speak, or whatever it was that he was going through at that time. Because at one point, he didn't speak. He didn't even speak, people. Alright? So whether it was to teach him how to speak, or whether it was to teach him to listen, one or the other, or both, probably both. Alright? So I have to raise my voice quite often with the word no, and I have to be firm. Right? And put a little pep to the step. So after about 15 minutes of outside badgering me to go play with these little boys, as I'm trying to explain to him that he's already played with them today, that he's just met them. Now, can you hear me talking to you right now? Because when the cops showed up, and I said, what the hell is this? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is harassment? Like, why are you guys here? Oh, well, somebody called and they're concerned about the child. I'm like, okay. I'm planting beans with Andre. I'm planting Asian vegetables with Andre. I'm planting peas with Andre. But I guess what happened was, for that 15 minutes where he was badgering me, and I said, enough is enough, that's it. You're going to your room, because that's what I do now. I just, after a little bit, that's it, let's go. No, we're not discussing. He's digging his heel. I don't want to go. I'll listen. Well, no, you don't listen. No, that's the problem. You're not listening. So you're going to go to your room and you're going to take time out. So he's struggling, and I'm like, no, you're going to your room. That's it. He was in his room for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I kind of push him in there. I don't close the door. I don't lock him in. I don't keep him there all day. I'll tell him, if you don't stop it, right, you'll be in there all day, or you'll be in there for a long time. But I give him 5 or 10 minutes because he's 5 years old, right? And of course he's standing there screaming that he wants to come out and that he's going to listen and all this other stuff, right? He tries to worm himself out, so I have to make sure he goes back in there. And I'm telling him I'm getting tired of this arguing with 5-year-old because he's very argumentative. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be in my room. Well, obviously not, you don't want to be in your room. But then I also don't want you badgering me to play with kids that you just played with, and you just got to give those people some time. You just met them, right? Maybe tomorrow you might play, but tomorrow's not good enough for him. He wants to go back now, and he figures if he badgers me enough, he's going to get his own way. So we were in the house for about 15 minutes, long enough for me to have a smoke, sit here, get my tea, my coffee ready, and then I went back outside. Because we were in the middle of planting beans by this point. So I'm outside now. My neighbor across the road there is staring at Andre. Andre's asking me why she's staring at him. And she's on her cell phone. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, just ignore it. In the meantime, her kid is glued to the window. Like, literally glued to the window. Hanging on, like, glued to the window. He was standing on something and literally glued to the window. So I'm thinking, she called. Right? Probably trolling my YouTube channel. Jumping onto that bandwagon. I talked to my neighbor. I asked him about it. And he said, I've been here for 4 years. Right? Why would I do that? And I'm like, well, what about these people downstairs in the basement? Because Andre's in his room screaming, oh, you hurt me. I don't want to be in here. I'll listen, Nana. I don't. Let me out. Let me out. Right? And the window's open. I had to put a nail in his window because yesterday, right, he was bouncing on his bed, didn't want to listen to me. I told him, if you don't if you don't get down off the bed, right, and stop bouncing, you're going to bounce out the window with that screen. So yesterday I went into the bedroom and I just locked up his window by putting a nail so he can only open it up this much now. Right? Because he's extremely hyper, people. And extremely stubborn. So anyway, we're outside doing the beans. He's bouncing off the tree. Like I have a little compost thing that he likes to climb up on, grab the branch, and then jump off, right? That's what I used to do as a kid. I used to jump off trees all the time. Same situation here, right? And cops roll up. And like, I've been outside all day, sweating like a dog, tired, not feeling well as usual, not getting as much done as I want to in a day, right? With the pressure of having to put things into the ground, but I have to take out the weeds first before I put things in the ground. So I'm going from spot to spot to spot, putting all these vegetables in my yard. And again, nobody's helping me with this. And they're like, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, why are you here? Well, we got a phone call. 911. 911, people. A 911. For what? Me bringing in Andre? Come on, that's it. I'm not going to have you badger me for an hour when you just finished playing with those children out there. You got to just leave them alone for a little while. You can play with them maybe tomorrow. You just met them. And of course he doesn't want to go to his room, so he's digging in his heels. And he knows how to manipulate, right? That warrant a 911. Or is it the fact that I let him walk around the corner between our fence and that fence so that he can go get his little frisbee that he threw over the fence as I'm kind of watching him, and then I have to call out his name because he's standing there looking at those kids. Was it somebody else there that called? Because he was standing over there by himself as I'm saying, Andre, let's go, get your frisbee, come on. Because I'm trying to give him a little bit of independence. You know, he's not allowed to do that very often. He's only allowed to do that maybe, well, if he could do it every day, I bet you he would try and get away with it. But, you know, in the last year, he's maybe done it 4 times, people. 4 times. Because he threw it over the fence, because he knew that if he threw it over the fence, that he could go and get it if he badgered me enough, Finally, I'm going to say, okay, go get it, because he knew that if he went to go get it, he could go look to see if his new friend was across the street. And sure enough, the kids were there, so he came back and he started badgering me to go play with those kids, as I'm saying, no, we're planting the beans. You need to just understand what no means. You know what no means? 15, 20 minutes later, that's it. I'm not putting up with it no more. Let's go. You're going to your room. Time out. And that warrants a 911 call, people. So, whoever is... I'm talking. Don't interrupt. What do you want?
I just want toast for a second.
Well, can you hold on a minute? I asked you not to interrupt me. I'm only going to be a couple of minutes.
Okay.
You just ate that. You're fine.
Okay. Are you going to make the popcorn soon?
Am I going to make the popcorn soon? He just had something to eat. Do you see? So, this is the same person, more than likely, as the one on April 6th, right? Could be those Asian people, because the French people are saying they didn't do it. So, if French people didn't do it, then it's those Asian people over there. Those ones that hide behind their fence and never let their kids come out and play. Right? You see them in the alley twice a year for 10 minutes. That's it. The rest of the time, you hear the little ones crying in the house because they have a little baby girl and they're crying in the house, right? They're allowed to play in the back with this 20-foot fence, so you can't really see anything, but it's easy for them to look over into my backyard, and if they really wanted to, they could stand there and take a video and then go jump into their car and go run off to the cop station on April 6th and say, look, they're having a hollering match between the window. Right? Well, maybe they heard Andre crying in his room because he got grounded to his room for 15 minutes, and I wouldn't let him out, and I had to be firm with him. Gave him one of those with the knuckle on the head to say, stay. Because you can't spank them, people. Not that I went and spanked my kids as they were growing up. Every kid maybe got 1 or 2 spankings in their whole life out of 5 kids. Marcane, I think, got 1. If you ask him, he'll say, I got 1. Shemaine, maybe 2. Right? And I'm talking just a spanking on the butt. And that's when they're little. Right? With their diaper on. Not a diaper, but you know what I mean. Like one time we were in the mall, and she was about 3 years old or something. She wasn't in a diaper. And I don't know, she got a goon on somebody. She went beelining down the freaking aisle. And, I think I spanked her right there in freaking shopping center, boom, 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 on her butt. Because she was just being so naughty. Taking off on me. Brooks got a spanking when he was 5. That's when he got his first spanking, when he was 5. And that was about the only spanking he ever got. When I bought that car, because he wanted me to buy a little red hot rod. And he was 5 years old, and I'm like, no. We're getting this one, Mark Brooks. And he will have this fit in his freaking warehouse with 5,000 freaking cars. And he was having a tantrum for this little red hot rod. Don't interrupt me. This little red hot rod. And in the end, I just took him to the bathroom and gave him a spanking in the bathroom. Because he wouldn't shut up about it. He got one spanking. Mark Kane remembers his spanking. I don't. I can't remember what it was, but he remembers the one spanking he got from me. Andre hasn't even gotten a spanking from me. You ask my kids, they'll tell you you don't discipline him enough because he doesn't listen. It's not about disciplining, it's the fact that something changed. And I've been having to cope with it. And this issue with the city. Oh, hold on a minute.
Nothing.